Cool. Do you feel good? Let's just roll in right into it.
Yeah, let's get into it then.
So Eric, I know you have a strong opinion on performance, media, and creative together. Media buy and creative together.
Yeah.
That's what your agency is, right? Why do you have such a strong opinion on that?
It depends what you mean by strong opinion. I mean, I have strong opinions about every topic in marketing, but so I'm someone. So I'll just tell you just how I feel about, in general, the media buying and creative. I mean, they could be separate things, but I'm an old man. I'm old enough to remember when, if you were a media buyer, it just meant you were also the creative strategist and sometimes even the graphic designer. God help you, which that was my case for a long time. So in probably the last 5 years or so, it's branched off to something else. I think it's good that it's a separate industry or a separate category. Like, there are people just focus on media buying and just focus on creative strategy. I think that's good. But I will say, I've gotten good at creative strategy because I can understand the data from a media buyer standpoint. Now, for a long time, there was two types of creative strategists. There was the creative strategist who was a media buyer, and they were just a creative first media buyer. I think me, Anza, I think Dara Denny would be considered one of these people. There's a lot of people, I'm not saying I'm the same level of these people or lower or higher, but these are good examples. I've been seeing them I've worked with Anza, I've seen these people at events for years and stuff. And then there are people who were they were graphic designers first. They didn't do a lot of media buying and they became a creative strategist, which is also really good. But then there's a third one in the last few years that has emerged. The creative strategists they were a UGC content creator and they became a creative strategist. And to me, that's the best one. At least I love working with them the most because I'm actually not that creative. If I'm not some artsy fartsy, whatever. I look at the data. I say what's performing well. You'll see in my analysis process, it's a very black and white. If this metric is good, do this. If this metric is good, do that. Very simple. We're not rewriting. We're not remaking the Mona Lisa. It's not this very cool creative process that, it's not very cool. So
Yeah, no,
content creators, they actually don't think a lot about the data. They just think what would be good content. And I can't even think in that way. I mean, kind of, yeah, I'm not an idiot, but they're way better at that. And that's such a good, so when I work with them, I have a creative strategist I work with. She's absolutely brilliant. She's a UGC content creator first. And we work so well together because I could just kind of bring in the data side of it and what should we do? And then she'll have 25 ideas instantly based on what would do well based on that. And we work so well together. We scaled up a brand to 100K a day just with that. So it's really, really good. That's just, I don't know if it's a strong take or a hot take or something. It's just how I feel about the creative strategy industry in general.
give me some examples of some of the performance media buy, data you gained, and then you do this because this is what you should be doing, and then
Absolutely.
that
Yeah.
get that
Literally have my decision
expressed in your creative world.
Yeah. So I literally have my decision tree up on my other screen. So there's two types of metrics. Dara said it brilliantly in a video a few years ago, and I've copied her ever since. But it's really the primary KPI is your decision-making metric, like your ROAS or CPA. Then everything else is basically a storytelling metric. You kind of look at it almost like a diagnostic, it tells you the why ROAS or CPA was the way it was. So I kind of break it up. This is something I do. Some people will yell at me, say it's ridiculous, but it's a very simple and very actionable way to just arrive at the next step, what to do when you're creative. It is, I break it down to upper funnel metrics versus lower funnel metrics. So first, if the target KPI is good, that just determines whether you are doing a very an iterative next step in the creative, an iteration, or a much different net new concept. If you're way off, you have to do a much different net new concept. So that being said, let's just, for the sake of it, say...
Let's just simplify the scenarios here.
Yeah, so just for the sake of it, let's say we are at our KPI. We're very close to our KPI. We want to do an iteration, just for the sake of it. Then okay, what was the upper funnel metrics good? Usually cost per click, sometimes hook rate, other things, even CPM. But I'm usually looking at cost per click, and then for lower funnel, I'm looking at conversion rate. And it's not perfect, but basically, if the upper funnel metrics, when I'm looking at the performance of the upper funnel metrics, I'm looking at from a qualitative standpoint for creative. I'm thinking about how engaging was the post, was it and how clear was the post. So was there a nice emotion to it? Was it like was it the right emotion or something like that? And then was it clear what we're saying? And then the conversion rate, if the conversion rate's bad or good or whatever, I'm looking at the specific messaging angle. So the messaging angle and the format of the creative are like two parallel things. You can have many different formats for the same angle. You can have many different angles for the same format, like a selfie UGC video. You can have a million angles and scripts. So if the conversion rate's bad, I almost always blame the angle or the benefit. And if the upper funnel metrics are bad, I usually always blame the format, which is not perfect, but it is very actionable. I do it a lot. I have a decision tree. Is this a visual podcast? I could share my screen, show you.
Yeah, you can share screen. Yeah.
Oh,
And then you
yeah.
can
So
also
share my
add it
screen.
later as well.
Yeah. So the people on audio only, I mean, go to YouTube and stuff, but I'll just show real quick. I do this, and anyone in the Foxwell group are like, oh, I already know what he's going to say, because I share this all the time at every Foxwell call. But basically, this is the
It's
decision making.
okay. Not everyone
Yeah,
knows
yeah,
Fox. This is very useful anyway. Let's go through it.
yeah. This is literally the decision making tree. Very Claude friendly, by the way. Put in the metrics in Claude; it will tell you what to do next. But literally, so let me actually just back up how I think about creative in general, because then we'll go into
Sure.
once you understand the next steps. Like once you understand this, the next steps are obvious. So I just look at all performance creative in four categories, like the four components to make good performance creative. And that is number one, there is a benefit. It answers what's in it for me. There's a clear benefit as opposed to a product feature, a benefit. Like everyone, when they see an ad, they subconsciously ask, what's in it for me? So a t-shirt that says 100% cotton versus a t-shirt ad that says look sexy instantly, one of those is a benefit, the other is a feature. Like the look sexy instantly, people are like, oh, that's what's in it for me. Positioning, that benefit, number two, positioning, that or unique value prop. Whatever that benefit is, it has to be a unique value prop. Especially in the brands I work with, it's a lot of like problem solution style health brands where people are constantly searching for a solution to their problem. When you give a unique value prop, you give them a reason to go with you and no one else and stop that search for a solution and stop it and go with you, or at least try you out.
Right.
So,
Right,
like
right,
for
right.
example,
Because you're matching your niche much more to the
yeah,
specific issues they are
exactly.
catering to.
A simple example was like mental health care therapy. Like the brand I was working with, their unique value prop was their insurance coverage. They are covered by insurance, which is a big deal in the US. So, but they like never talked about it until I got there. I'm like, what the heck are you doing? That's a huge unique value prop for the market. All their ads just said, get compassionate therapy, get nice therapy, feel better. It's like, okay, that's a nice benefit, yeah. But only until I said, let's do therapy covered by insurance. It's like basically free therapy. They didn't really scale because that it was a benefit, but it wasn't a unique value prop benefit.
Right,
So that's
right.
true. And then number three is an emotional trigger. Like whatever, like you have to elicit an emotional response in some way. Most of these decisions, I would say almost all of these decisions are emotion based. These heuristics, whatever you want to call this, psychology, Sarah Levinger can talk
Sure.
about it all day. But like almost all these purchase decisions are very emotional. Even a lot of the highest tech B2B SaaS that you'd think would be very rational, there's still a lot of like authority and bosses and stuff, like emotions involved in that you'd be surprised. But you have to elicit an emotional response. The easiest one is like trust and authority, to be honest. We'll get into that more. And then number four is clarity. All three things above have to be clear and obvious the second they see the ad. So like I have an ad that has all four of these. It's the best ad I ever wrote. This scaled from basically $4,000 a week for this brand to basically millions a month in revenue. And it has all four. For those just listening to audio, it's literally just a Canva image I made with text only Canva image. I made it in Canva. There's no real visuals to the ad. It's just a one by one
The
square.
message is clear though. Like, yeah, yeah.
Absolutely clear. But like basically it says the cost of therapy shouldn't create more anxiety in big, big letters. Then right below it, it says therapy covered by insurance. And then below that is just 6 insurance logos. So that exploded. Like to this day, like it has all those big four because therapy covered by insurance or get therapy, like things like that. That just implies free therapy, which for this stage of awareness, for this target audience, they know the benefits of therapy is feel better. But the cost layer that it answers what's in it for me. Like I'm getting free therapy.
Mm-hmm.
That's huge. And
Yeah.
that's a unique value prop. Things like that. That's a huge unique value prop, especially at the time, 2021, when I wrote this, 2022, maybe. That was a huge, huge unique value prop. It's still one today, but not as much, thankfully, for the sake of American healthcare. And then emotion, this copy, the cost of therapy shouldn't create more anxiety. Like people went crazy in the comments, like venting about how insultingly expensive mental health care was. Because there was a huge anger in the public about that, like the cost of healthcare. And this was technically considered pretty like for corporate healthcare, this is pretty controversial to say, but like when you see it in the ad like this, people are like, "Oh, this is awesome, just publish it." And then the insurance logos also double as an emotional response or emotional trigger because it's kind of a
Validation.
it's kind of a trust badge though. Like
Yeah.
it's like seen in GQ, seen in
Mm-hmm.
Forbes or something. But it is also just it just kind of tells you it's free basically. And then clarity, it doesn't get more clear than this. It's literally like I made this in Canva my first day working at this place, and that's like a lot of people overthink ad creative. A lot of times you just have a good, clear message, a solution to their problem in a very clear way, and it's a unique one, and it's well researched. Something like this will outperform a $40,000 video, and it did. So yeah, I know there's a long-winded explainer, but basically those four components. Basically, when I look at the metrics, then so those first two, the benefit and the emotional response, like or no, the benefit and the unique value prop. If the conversion rate is bad, I'll take a look. I'll adjust that. I'll go back to the drawing board on the angle, the messaging, the unique value prop, the benefit research, and we'll try different angles. And then if the cost per click is like atrocious, and that's why it's in the conversion rate's like decent and stuff, I'll be like, you know what? The people who basically the rationale is the people is like the format itself is not stopping enough people in the scroll, is not getting enough clicks. Like the rationale why I blame the upper funnel metrics on the emotion or the clarity is okay. The people who do stop scrolling and absorb the message, take the time to read this mess of an ad you made, they love it. They're converting very highly. We just need to make a clearer version or a more exciting version, like to get people to get a lower cost per click from $10 to $5 cost per click. And then if it's the same conversion rate, CAC is going to be half. So that's like the rationale. So
Yeah,
that's
yes.
how I look at that. I know it's a long-winded, probably 11 minutes explaining my rationale on creative.
No, it's good. Actually, I'm gonna keep coming back to this because I think this is really important. I think what you're talking about is a very also classic marketing framework. A lot of times when you're in marketing school, they also like, I think in some way I'm kind of relating to what you're saying here. It's like you got to start with um, there's a pain, there's a problem, and there's a demand for the problem, and you are able to provide that benefit to solve that problem. Like
Mhm.
there is just that on the benefit side. And then after that, you got to figure out to who, in what way of context are you solving that problem, right? This gets into the most important part of the positioning, the niche of that audience you are talking to. And then the third one, it's more of the vibe, the style, the that you're telling something interesting and you also are telling it in an interesting way so that
Yeah.
people are even engaging at the beginning to be willing to listen. And then you also want to make sure that whatever the messaging that's out there, is getting crossed so that they're able to actually understand what is being said.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. And what's interesting is like whether it's you or everyone has like a every marketer I talk to has a completely different like mental framework or the things they call it or the
Hmm.
steps, but we all just arrive at the same conclusion. I intentionally keep mine like these simple four steps. So one, it's simple. A good friend of mine who's a chef, he says, the best recipes are one you can do when you're drunk. And I'm like, that's funny, but it's also true for business processes in general. Like, I'm not saying I'm drunk when I'm working, but my point is like when you are under a lot of pressure, or it's Monday morning, or you didn't sleep good, or something, or you have clients yelling at you, or honestly, the most common one is results are bad and you're under pressure, or whatever. You need just a process to okay, let me just go through the motions. It's muscle memory. It's a very simple four-step process in my analysis, and then boom, I have no matter this. Why I love this analysis. This is the one I showed you. The decision tree is no matter what the metrics are, there is a pre-planned next step. So that's what makes our creative testing so effective. Is no matter what the outcome, we know what we know what to do next. Even if everything's bad, it's like okay, like it's probably the angle. We have to retry this. It's a very clear decision tree, which I don't know. It took me way too long in my career to just think in that way. Like, no matter what the outcome is, I know the next step, and we're just going to put our heads down and work. It takes so much of the anxiety out of work, especially in something very subjective like creative, where it's like, I see too many people, they just like, they open their laptop on Monday and they look at the metrics, and it's almost like they don't have a process like this, even if they're very, very good. And they're just kind of winging it every Monday. And that's fine, to be honest. That was me most for a lot of my career. Just not gonna
Hmm.
lie. Um, but it's just anxiety inducing. It's like that Sunday night. It's
Yeah,
like
can you walk me through some examples of I really love that the simplified process. I
yeah,
think that when you're looking at your upper funnel, and I think that's where a lot of people get too caught up on,
hmm,
how does this sound like, how does this look like, and all of that. Like, what is that first initial, like, what is the process that you go through to identify some of the areas that help you to improve the upper funnel areas?
yeah. So I minimize how many metrics I want to look at. Where
Sure.
everyone else wants to. I'll say everyone else. I'm not trying to paint everyone negatively.
Yeah, yeah, but let's make it more practical. So you're in the
Yeah,
Facebook, where you're in the Meta. You got a bunch of
Facebook.
ads, you got some feedback on these videos, and you know that these are screwed up, and you're trying to figure it out. Walk me through your
Yeah,
process.
yeah. Like I'm literally okay. What's the upper funnel metrics and what's the lower funnel metrics? And I try to pick one all-encompassing metric to summarize upper funnel and one
Mhm.
all-encompassing metric to summarize lower funnel. So I cost per click is the one I like to look at the most for upper funnel because it's like it encapsulates CPM, click through rate, even things like post engagement rate, things like that impact the CPM, which impacts the cost per click. The
Sure.
hook rate kind of impacts the CPM in many ways, or other results, things like that.
Hmm.
Um, I don't want to look too much. Like I'll only look into a lot more metrics if it's much more diagnostic and it's a glance or something. Like
Hmm.
a lot of these metrics don't really correlate to like I have ads there are best ad they're the CP the ROAS is the best ROAS in the account, but the cost per
Hmm.
click is like double the average. So you'd think, oh, that's a
Sure.
bad ad, but like what we do there is like, okay, cost everything's great except cost per click. Let's make more exciting versions of it. But basically,
Mhm.
to
No,
answer
I
your
get
question,
you. Yeah,
how do I
yeah, that
simplify
makes sense.
it? Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. To answer your question, how do I simplify it? It is like this exact decision tree. This is I would say this is a loose like I had Claude before a presentation say, hey, make a
Hmm.
decision tree of this for an image just for the sake of a slide in a training
Sure.
doc. And so it's not perfect, but it is just nice. Like I'm just like, okay, is the is the conversion rate this or that? Okay, it's bad. Let's do this. And then you go to the next box. Okay, is the cost per click also bad? Oh, cost per click is actually also bad. So let's do this. I guess they call it C4 in this category four, box four. Oh, it's a net. We'll do a net new concept, and we need like a totally new angle. Maybe look at the
Hmm.
reviews more or something. Like there is a next step. So it took a while to go through that. I would recommend anyone to just kind of go through that process on their own.
Yeah, I'll share this. I think basically I'm looking at this decision tree here. I think basically what you're saying here is that looking at two issues, right? One is awareness, right? Get out there. One is, did you convert them, right? I think I'm just curious if you could just walk me some examples. Like if you look at some ads, you examine how they're performing on the
Yeah.
upper funnel and some of the metrics. What are you looking for metrics wise and decision making as a next step?
Yeah, let me actually pull up actually pull up an ad recently that is pull up on my other Chrome account. But like how I went through the analysis. Hold on a second. I'm just gonna pull up an ad. I don't use a real brand because I'll put them on the spot. I'll use an old one. And it's a brand that we did great work. Like they're not gonna mind at all. So let me just put it in. Hold on a second. Where's my? Let's try this. So this was for a health tech brand, and this is a static image. Results, it was all right. There's a lot of stuff going on though. So conversion rate was okay, but the cost per click was like $17. So I'm like, oh my god.
Okay.
And to be honest, when you read it, visual like it lacks the clarity. To be honest, so CAC was not where we wanted it to be. Conversion rate was actually pretty good, but I saw things like the cost per click was like $17. I wanted to get it down to like 10. So then it would be a phenomenal.
So it sounds like you're saying here is like the conversion, the messaging could be there for people who wants to read it, but to get that initial people there, it seems a little bit inefficient, expensive.
Yeah, exactly. And then honestly, at a glance, you could see when you look at my big four components, what I look for in a good ad. It's the benefit, it's the unique value. Is that benefit a unique value prop? Is there an emotional part? And then the clarity. And then the clarity is the one that jumped out at me. So for context, I literally made this. I actually did make this in Canva on a flight once. My graphic designer was sick. I'm like, I gotta land. We gotta launch something. So it is a bit of a like mess visually, to be honest. And I'm my own biggest critique, so I'm not gonna. If you look at it, there's a lot of text. There's a lot of visual, like focal points, distracting.
Yeah, lots of visual cue, different color, I see
Yeah,
different size, different fonts, different
yeah,
arrangement. Connection is not locking with me.
exactly.
Yes, it takes
Like,
me a while to figure it out what the hell is going on.
yeah. So the person who did stop and read all of this is like, oh, for context, this is for people with like swollen legs, lipedema, lymphedema, edema,
Hmm.
venous something. But for people with swollen legs, this massages their legs, gets the swelling fluid out. But basically, oh, my thighs went from 31 inches to 22 inches, or my thighs went down 9 inches, no more pain. Then I say the only waist high compression boots for people in this niche that like we expanded more on that in the body copy and stuff wasn't great, but it's not clear. Like, what is the unique value prop? So I'm like, you know what? Let's do the same angle, but how could we do this? How could we do that? And the best thing turned out to be a video where it's just a UGC video and it said, hey, my edema swelling went down 9, like almost the same copy, but instead of an ugly image, just read it in a simple video. And hey, my edema swelling went down. I think my legs went basically. I went down 9 inches in 3 weeks or whatever it was, and she explained why. And then she explains the waist high unique value prop. Like, oh, this goes waist height to push swelling up to your midsection, so it leaves the swelling fluid leaves your body through excretion naturally. So that's how it gets out of your body. All the other compression pants that are not waist high, they don't push the swelling fluid out of your body properly. So it's just a glorified massage. It's like, so like right there, like once we explain that in a UGC video instead of this ugly image, it was just way clearer and easier to understand than like
Hmm.
this super vague, try to cram too much stuff. Even with the CNN logo, the FDA approved logo, it just didn't work out too well. So that's an example of the clarity. So we kept the same angle, even a lot of the same exact copy in many cases, and we just
Yeah,
switched the format to something much
the
clearer.
clarity was very slow score in that case.
Yeah, yeah. And another example I'll bring up just for my swipe file of ads I've made. This is for, I'll show you, hold on a second. This is actually a very good ad. So I'll show the good ad, but let me get the bad ad, the ad that did terribly. And then we iterated accordingly This was a phenomenal ad, one of the best ads we ever ran. But like, let me get the. I might have removed the ugly, underperforming version from my swipe file, and we'll edit this. I apologize. I'm scrolling a little, but this was going really well. Wow, I can't find it. Interesting. I might have. Oh, I removed it because I'm like, I always shit talking on podcasts. I should probably not have it in my. Oh, here we go. Okay, so this will be good. This is basically another version of that. So like, this is an ad that did terribly, and like, what I'm trying to do here. It says, day 1 versus day 90 on this supplement. Now people scrolling, they don't know what it is. So it says, on day 1, I'm ready to optimize my health. Basically, I'm not even going to read all this, but like, everything's very vague. This is before I established the big 4, just for context. Sure. I'm like, there's something missing about this ad. That's a complete disaster. Let's study why. So I was trying to do some kind of before-after transformation, show the transformation in a static. But you could tell, the benefit is not clear at all. Like, it says optimize my health. I don't know what that means. Okay, better energy. Literally everyone says better energy. Every supplement, no matter what it is, will tell you your energy feels better. So like, this was like, this just didn't do well. It's so vague. It has no emotion. It has no benefit, let alone a unique value prop. It's too visually complicated. The visual focal points, the eye goes 100 different places. There's way too much text. It was a mess.
Wait, was this really actually an ad that was running?
I ran this ad, yeah, with Bionic, one of our clients. They're a really good client. They're a really good brand, phenomenal brand, to be honest. I don't take supplements, but if I were, it would be this supplement because of bioavailability of supplements.
Yeah.
It's another conversation. But then I switched to this, and this ad exploded. First of all, just let's talk about visual focal points, then we'll talk about what it is. It is this like viral article image style that does vary. This style does well almost everywhere I run it. It's a great style. But all the text is in one spot. It's just on the bottom, and it's in this very digestible format, and there is a little offer thing on the bottom. So let's just put it there. Instantly, cost per click was way better. Like, cost per click was probably 75% better or lower, I should say, than the other ad. Just because you could see what it is and you can click it, you can read it, things like that. That's shocking.
Yeah.
But conversion rate also skyrocketed on this ad compared to the other one because, like, the angle was so much more powerful. We hit all the things. We hit the emotion. We hit the unique value prop. It's still a little vague, but it's just enough to get to the other click. And then on the landing page, I'll show you what's on the landing page. This is what really sells them. But, I mean, the copy is phenomenal. This royal families and billionaires' secret supplement routine is now available for you. 100% personalized, maximum absorption granules. Try for 33% off today. HSA, FSA eligible, things like that. So, I mean, let's just talk to that big 4. The benefit, the unique value prop, the emotion, and the clarity. Clarity is there. Like, it's very clear and simple. The benefit, it does just say like supplement routine, 100% personalized, maximum absorption granules. To be honest, that is more vague than I would like it to be. Like I wish it could be more concrete. We sell it a lot more concretely elsewhere, like further down the funnel.
But you're selling the sexy man there to this could be you. That's also part of what you are selling there too.
Kind of. I mean, yes, this is an aspirational physique from this gentleman. That's Mike Thurston, by the way. So more context, both this and this is Mike Thurston, like famous celebrity bodybuilder, fitness influencer type guy.
Sure.
Yeah, like this guy, like we ran whitelisting ads from his page. He's a great spokesman for Bionic. He's phenomenal. But yeah, yes.
Do you run like other campaign to go with this static for this product?
Yeah, they do video. Like video. They do, he's phenomenal on video, so we try to use him more for video. But like, yeah, to answer your question, yes, this is an aspirational physique as opposed to a relatable physique. Just, but yeah, I mean, the royal families and billionaires, like that's authority. That's in that emotional response. Like right there, the authority is so powerful, and people. The target audience is Mike Thurston. They know who he is. So it's also a celebrity bodybuilder. So very strong authority. We really leaned into the authority of this brand. This brand has crazy authority. Some of the highest authority you'll ever see if you go to their website.
Gotcha.
So I'm like, oh wow, royal families and billionaires secret supplement routine. Ooh, like there's so much mystique around there. And then it does, yeah. Then 100% personalized and maximum absorption are their unique value props. So like they require a little more explanation, but it's just enough to like to sell the person, like get to the person to the next step in the funnel and pique their interest. And also explain why, like once you people are receptive to learning why are billionaires and royal families taking this, you know?
Mm.
And even when you get to their website, it's Cristiano Ronaldo's supplement brand. Like I think he's an investor. I don't know if he's an investor or part owner specifically.
Mm.
They have all these famous athletes and stuff on it. It's crazy authority. So that's huge too. So like,
What's the landing page for this ad? Do you send it to with this guy over there on the landing page?
so I think at the time it might have been Cristiano Ronaldo on the landing page. I forgot exactly who, which is just as good if not better. Um, like when in terms like for the male audience, for in terms of longevity and health and stuff, if you're in your 30s, he's probably the best possible influencer in the world for like longevity things like other than like David Beckham, which you saw with IM8. So yeah, like anyway, but the point is, you see the point. Like we saw a lot of things. Yeah.
I love the framework you put it out there. Like, it makes it easy to track. So some of the things I'm curious about, like, you know, people often overplay metrics a lot, and in this show, I wanna pointing out some of them as well. What do you feel like these days are completely useless metrics, and what you find to be your always North Star?
So I wouldn't say any metric is useless, but I will say a lot of metrics are overrated. Like even me, like I saw cost per click is an important metric. Most of my best ads have really bad cost per click, but extremely good conversion rate. It's just I don't know what it is. It's just even if the hook rate on the video is good,
Mm,
even if, like for whatever it is, I just noticed to the point where I actually don't care too much about cost per click being high. There's more of a signal what to do next. We can make it lower, so let's try to make it lower. That's it. So I would just say that the most important metric is the primary KPI, and anything else that's like bad. Basically, if you can have a great primary KPI, great CPA ROAS, but all these other metrics can look really bad. Like I wouldn't panic, like, and that's just what it is. Like frequency, for example, or CPM is another one, or hook rate. Like I try not to go too much analysis paralysis. Obviously, there's some situations where, oh, my frequency is 11. And like there's extreme situations where it's like, oh, we're hitting an audience.
spam.
In 2 weeks, this is going to be a bad ad. Like, okay, it's whatever. But in most cases, I wouldn't panic over it. I would just use them as like, okay, if you have a good metric, are you profitable or not profitable? Okay, if you're profitable, don't panic too much. Like try to improve those other metrics to be even more profitable, but don't like freak out or something.
Yeah.
This is something I see people do, and it's crazy. I even have to say it. They will make decisions based on upper funnel metrics, even if the ad is profitable or not, just because I don't know. They saw some YouTube video about hook rate and click through rate or something, so they'll
Mm,
pause a profitable ad because it doesn't have the hook rate they want, or they'll leave an unprofitable ad on because it has a very good hook rate or something. And they're trying to make an
mm.
argument, oh, well, it's getting people in the funnel, and then the other ads are like getting that conversion or something. I don't know a lot about
Yeah,
that. This
I think
funnel's
what you were saying, Eric, is like a lot of those metrics, it's more like a micro metrics in a way. So it's kind of like how well is this metrics describing the immediate next step, like these movements. Because I don't think there's any very perfect metrics that describe the full funnel, like CPC perhaps describing how effective are you getting that first exposure, right? But if your overall return on revenue is still good, then it's probably not that big of a deal. I totally get that. Um, I actually sometimes look at just spend a lot. I just literally look at top level to spend. I don't even care like CTR, all of that. I just literally just look at the spend, because I think like that's the simplest universal thing. It's money. Like everybody knows money. And I would just literally see if this ad, if the system even gives a shit about this ad. Like if you see an
Yeah,
ad just never get any spend, it feels like nothing you're playing with the matter anyway.
yeah, that's a school of thought that some accounts I work on, that is just what it is. It's like, hey, if it spends a lot, we consider it to be good because we're launching 1,000 ads a week, and it's so much to, I don't know. Basically, they look at overall like MER or overall new customer ROAS on the overall
Mm-mm-mm.
account,
Yeah,
and if this ad's the top spender and ROAS is good, we assume this ad is, regardless of what Meta says or Shopify or whatever, we assume this ad is driving good ROAS. Like that's sometimes it makes sense, sometimes it doesn't. There are some accounts I work on that like you can't even believe Meta because like you can't trust anything Meta says. So it might look high ROAS in Meta, but when you look at something like Northbeam, another attribution tool, it's actually not that good, or maybe it's a lot better or something. So you do have to just kind of go by if it spends a lot, it's good, or if it spends a lot and macro results correlate positively or negatively, that's how
that's
you.
what I think is important, the micro side of it. If it like for example, if I was pushing something new out and like it's starting to spend and I'm like, okay, cool, at least that it's initially relevant, it's not totally out of the realm. Like I want to switch very quickly here to we cover really decently and nicely about you gotta have performance media and give a good feedback to creative, and there is that feedback loop, and love the framework you talk about there. Now taking this deeper to a customer funnel, what
Mhm.
often do you see on the landing page as opportunities business people don't think about?
Honestly, I'm not like a CRO expert. I'm not anything like that. And I work with a lot of really good CRO people who
Hmm.
they'll probably throw a stapler at my head if they hear me talk about it.
Oh, come on, don't be so
But
model, not
I,
right now,
I will
just tell
I will
me.
say the easiest one. First of all, mobile first
Mhm.
UX. Like I will say, I
Yeah.
will have someone design a landing page or something. And and maybe they're not from the Meta background, so they don't
Hmm.
realize 99% of traffic is mobile first. So they
Hmm.
just design it. It looks great on desktop, but it's an absolute mess on mobile. And
Yeah.
it should just be the other way around. Like everything mobile first design. Okay, for some people that's an obvious thing. It's like whatever. But you're gonna see there is gonna be a handful of people who are like, oh fuck. I didn't realize. Let me check what it looks like in mobile real quick. Oh my god, it's disgusting. We gotta scramble. That was me for a couple years, so I made that mistake a lot. But also just making the text bigger. It sounds crazy, but it's true. Like, especially when you're building on a giant desktop, the brilliant designer, they're on a giant desktop that's
Hmm.
super good, um, quality screens or something. But
Yeah.
when you're looking at it on the phone, like it has to like look good on the phone. It has to be big enough text to read. It can't be too
Hmm.
much text. Raising the text size, I saw someone who was a CRO expert say all they did was raise the text size by like 25% or something, and their results just improved. I thought that was very good.
I love
And
that.
yeah,
Yeah, I'm going to actually, one of my clients, I was exactly recommending that. They were more of a senior crowd. Their tax is really small, and their website is not mobile reactive. It doesn't actually
yeah,
readjusting itself, so it's just literally very tiny.
yeah.
Those are
Especially
low
for the
hanging
target
fruit for sure.
audience. Yeah, yeah, yeah. The target audience might be older people. I don't know if you ever saw an old person on their phone. They have their font size default expanded. So that's a big percent. I don't know about you, but most of the ads we scale on are people 50 plus. Like the target audience is 50 plus.
Oh, and a lot of mine are the same way. Yeah, yeah, totally. It's so important to have that extra int to make sure you're presenting clearly on the.
Mhm.
So what else do you think is really important? A lot of people like should also see. So mobile first. I love that.
So for to be honest, for e-commerce, I don't have a lot of like CRO funnel hacks for e-commerce because a lot of it's, I would say most of it is just standard product page. But for landing
Sure.
for lead gen for like
Let's do
quick,
survey side. Yeah.
Yeah, let's talk lead
Lead gen.
gen because that's be much more actionable.
Yeah.
Um, so we do a lot of quiz funnel stuff, and I have a lot of extreme opinions about quiz funnel, where like
So
we're in
multi
the health
steps,
niche.
or is it just a conditional question?
So usually it's a couple questions, like probably at least 5 questions, sometimes longer. Like so something we do that's where a lot of people would disagree with, or clients don't understand it, or even other marketers are like it's counter to what they believe to be true. Well, first of all, when we talk quiz funnels, a lot of people will be like, wait, you're adding steps to the funnel. That's going to create more friction and hurt conversion rate. But I think a lot of the CRO people who I talk about, they would agree with me that if you do a quiz funnel right, especially for the health niche, it improves conversion rate. And also it improves LTV. So, especially for the health niche, a quiz funnel in the health niche, you're asking like medical questions basically, which like if it's a medical product, so you're supposed to.
Mhm.
They don't view it like a cute little BuzzFeed quiz that's going to match them what skincare bundle they should buy and shop for. They view it as like a medical intake form. So they view it like they're getting understood, they're being heard, and that this information that they're submitting on every quiz question, like oh, what is your BMI, what is your target body weight, things like that.
Mhm.
Um, they think oh, that's going to be used to help me. Like this is the doctor is going to use this to help me or something. So
Yeah.
that's huge. Then so
We
it
do that a
actually
lot. I love that. Yeah. So do
yeah,
you do that as so on Facebook? Do you do that on as an instant form? Amount of steps there,
not
or
a
do
lot.
you do it
Yeah,
on a landing page? You
separate
bring it.
separate sometimes either basically like it goes to a landing page and then it go we use Outgrow a lot is one of our quiz platforms, but there's a lot
Mhm.
of other quiz platforms everyone
Gotcha.
loves.
Do you
Um,
do on the same page, or you do multi steps, like asking one question and then now you are already sunk in cost and already
Usually
percentage
the
in.
URL still stays the same.
Hmm.
So the tech has now evolved to where you can have the quiz like in the same landing page UI, almost like a little
Hmm.
app within the landing page, which is great.
Yeah. Hmm.
So that's what we've been doing lately, and that's been effective, especially now, like AI, you could easily spin that up quickly. That before it used to cost thousands of dollars a month to just build something like that. Um, so yeah, like you kind of keep. I like that because it's kind of good balance between every question getting its own page or keeping them in that little flow. It's nice. Some of them vary,
Hmm.
but it's more.
Yeah,
It's
I love
like,
that recently. Like I'm testing either on the same page or trying to get them to feel like, okay, now I'm 30% in, I might just well try
Mhm.
to get it through. Um, I double down on these totally with you on there. I think one another thing for us is also a great way to show expertise. So like you might ask me some questions that have you thought about XYZ and these benefit might be in the question format that you can provide that
yeah,
you can kind of like slide in there. They're like, oh, I haven't thought about that, right?
Mhm. Like an upsell or a cross sell opportunity.
Yeah, yeah, totally.
Yeah, do a lot of that too. Yeah, yeah. Like so that's another thing too with the quiz funnels. So a lot of our quiz flows, yeah, some of them go to like an econ, like it's a maybe a GLP-1 prescription medication. Yeah, okay. But the ones that where we build a lot and we don't use like a CRO team is just a medical healthcare form, like a therapist or some kind of doctor. And those are the best because like the quiz question, you don't need that many, maybe 5 to 10 max questions, 5 to 10 max. Five is fine. It's what depending on the questions. But there are a couple questions. First of all the answers go to we call them the sales team. They're either the onboarding team or something. They'll do basically you're booking a callback is the funnel, and we call
Mm-hmm.
them the sales team internally, but they're more like a scheduling team, like for the doctor's office. But basically,
Sure.
so when I say salespeople, it could connote certain things.
So
But
they
basically,
receive the notification from the answers from the clients, right?
yeah, so they know what script to use when they get on the
Mm-hmm.
call with the client or the lead or something.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, "Oh, I see you had this problem. Do you also like health like mental health care is a common one. It's like, oh, if you submit for like medication management, so basically psychiatry, like there's we call it a cross sell, but it's just also backed in science. Like, oh, we find your success with medication is a lot better if you're also doing talk therapy with it. Would you also like to sign up for talk therapy? And then
Mm-hmm.
that double books them for talk therapy or something like that. That's why they want to see the answers that the quiz form is submitting. It also just shows the person on the call, like, oh, we are listening to you. Like, it wasn't just some generic thing that wasted your time. Because before we implemented that, I would hear the call recordings, and people would ask, like the salespeople or the onboarding people would ask the patient or lead questions that they already answered in the form. Be like, I submitted a 40-question form that already answered all of this. Why are you asking me again? I'm just like, oh my God, we got to fix
Yeah.
that CRM connection. But that people get very pissed off on that, and like, so yeah, um, that was huge. So there is the art of the quiz form. So basically, the quiz form, though, the actual questions you should be doing, they only have two jobs: to either qualify the lead more, like to determine whether or not they're actually a good quality lead, or kick them out of the funnel,
Hmm.
or it should be priming them for the sale. The highest impact quiz question I ever did, when we talk about priming them for the sale, what does that mean? Like, we just, on the last question, all we asked were, how ready are you to make a change? This is for like a mental health care thing. And
Sure.
there was multiple choice. The answers were very ready, somewhat ready, not sure, or like not ready. I forget the exact verbiage of it. But basically, if they didn't say very ready, we just didn't call them. Or like they got an email or something, went to our email flow. But
Hmm.
like they were almost impossible to close. But if the people said very ready, they're almost like self-selecting themselves to
Yeah, yeah. So like
yeah,
they need to solve the
exactly. They're
issues.
almost closing themselves.
So do you score them, I guess, like sort of like
Exactly.
a
So
little bit?
basically, the quiz questions will have a lead score, and then that goes to the
Yeah.
CRM, and that like goes to the priority of when the sales team has 50 leads in front of them. Oh, there's 25 leads that are the hot score. Then there's a bunch that are lower. So if you have like 50 leads in
Mm-hmm.
front of you, you don't know which ones to call first. It
Mm-hmm.
just the lead scoring helps you, and the conversion rate is way higher on the hot leads. That's why we do lead scoring. Um, so that's huge, and it
I
is
love
just a
that.
matter of editing. And most CRMs you could do that natively. So
Yeah,
especially
I love that. I actually take that you can take a step further to even add like a Corel to it, and then you now can actually follow up even the transcript in the calls. One of my
yeah,
client does dementia management, so I would always listen to what like my mom, my partner, if there is that my something, they have someone who needs help, and then you're looking for stuff like dementia. These will get a lot of like scores, and then you can
yeah,
then come back to feedback to sort of that performance, the creative cycle we're talking about.
yeah. That's very important too. And in some niches, you're not legally allowed to sign other people up. I think for literally yours, dementia, like people have
Yeah.
like guardianship and stuff, like because that's a specific niche where you can. But yeah, like there are little details in the quiz that will score it.
It sounds like, well, yeah, I think a lot of people don't, it was like too easily fall into this old school trap, like don't want to make anything harder for people
Mhm.
to give you the information. I know we are kind of getting a little bit closer here to time. I want to maybe spending a little bit more time back to just the creative side. What do you see as something that is working well this year? Let's just something sort of like be more practical. What do you see as something that's working well for Meta?
Honestly, the partnership thing, it's like I think Meta even said they push it to the point where if I have 10 concepts in front of me that are all partnership ads, I know
Hmm?
like two or three of them are going to be winning ads and scale up.
Okay, can you pause there? Can you go back to explain that to listener who don't know what you're talking about there?
Yeah, so when I say partnership, I mean like the whitelisting partnership where you'll see it in your own feed. It's like scrolling and
Hmm.
it's like, oh, Kathy from Ohio or something like in partnership with Adidas. And it's like Kathy or whatever the influencer is like
Hmm.
she's wearing the Adidas clothes. I like Adidas because I like the new running shorts or something. I wear them every day
Yeah.
and it's in partnership with Adidas. So the ad's running from her handle,
Hmm.
but it's really just like it's like it is like the Adidas ad account is managing that ad. So
Yeah, so what you're saying is like an influencer campaign, right? So you basically are running your ads from the influencer's account using their exposure community reach to
Exactly.
kind of creating an additional trust of angle entity for Meta to rely on?
Yeah, yeah. Especially when the content is either from an authority figure, like a doctor
Okay.
or a nurse or something, or like a specialist in that space, or
Okay.
like it looks super organic and relatable, and they're just kind of talking very organically about it. It doesn't even look like an ad.
Okay.
That's why those do really well. Um, yeah, we basically it's I want to harp on the authority one a lot because to be honest, if someone is researching creative in 2026, this partnership, they'll be like, all right, everyone tells me partnership, everyone tells me partnership, everyone tells me
Mm,
whitelisting. I've been doing whitelisting for like 3 years, so apparently it's new now this last year or so. But the authority one is really the top priority. So let's say you have like a $2,000 a month budget for UGC content creators. A client gives you that
mhm.
budget. I would, instead of find five creators to make a $400 video each one, I would find one doctor or one dentist or one nurse or one nutritionist who does content creation. Say, hey, I'll pay you $2,000 for a video and whitelisting access, partnership access. The win rate is more than 5 times higher. Like the success is, it's such a better ad. Like,
Sure.
for example, we
So let
did
me
one.
walk back a little bit on that case because I think this is a really helpful example here. So, uh, do you often just do use UGC, or you also looking for UCG plus whitelisting at the same time?
I always try to go whitelisting, depending on the creator. If it's an authority, which is a big percentage of the people we try to work with anyway, I always go for whitelisting. And it's almost always, for the authority, it's always worth it. Unless they charge something
Mm,
outrageous. But to be honest, I haven't really run into so outrageous to where I didn't think it was worth it. And I said, no, you're too
okay.
expensive or
So I
something.
actually don't do a lot of this, and I'm not really sure what to start. So let's say I got, let's say 2 grand, right? And then local surveys only in this area. I have never even given it a thought. And where should I start? Do I reach out to famous? What do you suggest I start on
Oh,
that?
literally, how do I find UGC content creators, period?
Yeah, like literally Joe Blow now it's operating in little community, never thought about it, and it's just servicing an area, small money, and just want to find someone to do what you're talking about, UGC plus, this like influence whitelisting options.
Yeah, you could literally search like so when I first started, this is like years ago, I would just search Twitter, UGC creator, and it's the same
Okay.
like 5 or 10 creators who post, I'm a UGC creator. Now there's
Sure.
even more and stuff like that. I think even LinkedIn, if you just search. A really underrated one is backstage.com for you get the really good quality talent there.
Mm-hmm.
You just make a almost like a job posting, a gig posting on backstage.com. You get phenomenal results there.
Got a few thousand to start, want to dip into the influencer. Do they like are they looking for someone from the areas also famous from the block? What do they do from there?
To be honest, they don't have to be from a zip code. They just have to appear from the zip code and appear. Like we have one client where like the target audience is like restaurants and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So like we're just trying like you don't need to be a restaurant owner in New York or whatever. You just have to be sitting in a cafe with a white tablecloth on it and maybe in like a suit as if you work there or something and like talk to the camera or something like that. Like
Mm-hmm.
obviously for that you would need permission from the restaurant or something. So that's a little more complicated. But
Mm-hmm.
you don't have to be a restaurant owner or something. Like we'll put a
Mm-hmm.
disclaimer saying this is a paid actor or something. No one cares about
Gotcha,
disclaimer.
gotcha.
Fine.
And so I imagine you go find someone relevant to your industry or business, right? And uh yeah, so you locate them and then do you what are some of the criteria that you're looking for these days? Do you just look for their followers? Like how popular
Hmm.
are they? Like what are the
So I actually don't care too much about follower count, even if it's whitelisting. It's more so like how they are on camera, like the camera presence, how good they talk and stuff, and that's it. Bonus points if like obviously they want to look like the target customer or some relevance there,
sure.
but like I value the camera presence and how easy they are to work with, to be honest, more so than follower count. Even if it's
Mm,
or want to do whitelisting stuff like that, because follower count doesn't matter unless it is a certain authority. We'll do an ad with a nutritionist where they had an in-house nutritionist, the brand. So I literally made the Facebook page for her, and and just took her LinkedIn profile picture and put her credentials in the name, so and so.
mm,
I think a RD, registered dietitian, I forgot the exact one.
mm.
Um, and she had 0 followers. We run whitelisting pages from her. It outperforms the ads that from their brand page with 233,000 followers. So it's
Mm,
like
mm,
people care more about authority than celebrity, especially in the health niche. And that's another
mm.
thing about why you want to focus on authority figures. Like people would take an actual vet like more seriously than a like a basketball player who signed a deal with Petco or something like I don't care what. Anyway, that's a terrible example, but like, this is in the weight
Yeah,
loss.
but actually there I can give you some example. Online
Yeah.
these days is so bad, like this swiping culture. I think, there's a lot of like bare asses and like people are just like looking for that sexual even
Oh
energy
yeah.
or pure like there's just a lot of that just literally just gaining awareness, right? And
Mhm.
it's terrible. I mean, but I'm saying like what are some of the metrics that you're looking for if you're just shopping through, like you're saying authority, what are things you can look for besides how they show up on the video?
Yeah. So I actually like in terms of metrics for like the price. Like how much is it sounds terrible and shallow, but like how much is the gig?
Ah,
Because like you said, you have a finite budget. You ask what is the gig, but like they might put certain metrics in their portfolio. Like I made an ad with a 37% hook rate. I know enough about writing case studies and stretching metrics to you could take it with a grain of salt. Maybe it was good, maybe it was bad, it's whatever. But I don't look at a lot of metrics. I really focus on the qualitatives, the intangibles. Are they easy to work with? A lot
mm,
of the creators I reach out to, they disqualify themselves by either not responding or responding very late or like they demand certain things that are unreasonable. Like,
mhm.
I want royalties and I want this and that. It's like, okay, I can tell you're going to be a diva. We're not going to work. It's just skip. So really basic common sense stuff, like they'll disqualify themselves. You got to reach out to like 10 or 20 you want, and then, or have
Mhm, mhm.
Hive House do it for you. Not to plug them,
Gotcha,
but
gotcha. So you're definitely looking at a lot of their past posts, trying to figure out how they talk, and also obviously experiencing yourself how you are able to work with them on that
yeah, the
regards as
portfolio is
well.
probably the most important. Yeah, so that's probably the
Gotcha.
best thing. It's not a metric, it's
Do,
not like an API, but yeah.
Gotcha. That makes sense. Yeah, I also tried it one time, and I think like we were saying, I got ghosted. The person I actually thought it could be a good product for my cosmetic client, but yeah, she ghosted me. Um, what is usually typically like consider absolutely outrageous, and what is like a reasonable like offer if they ask like, okay, I'm gonna
Yeah,
make a video and it's gonna cost you $1,000. You don't have to share if you don't feel comfortable. I'm just
yeah,
curious,
I'll
like,
share. I'll throw some numbers out there. So if it's just like a regular creator and they're not an authority figure and they're just average, we see UGC like per concept per gig be like between $200 and $500 per video with
okay,
a couple variants each. And
sure.
oftentimes that includes whitelisting. Maybe whitelisting is an extra $100 or something. But it's very rare.
Oh,
It's like,
really?
oh, I want 1,000 a video or I want 10,000 a video. I got a
Okay.
few of those, but I'll be honest, the few who did charge like a thousand or more, you look at their
Mm,
portfolio and they have like killer brands in their portfolio. So it's
got you.
like okay, like they get basically a lot of them just like a lot of it. It's a pretty reasonable. I don't know if we don't pay that a lot of the time. We just go with
Mm,
that unless they're an authority. If they're an authority figure, it's a completely different thing.
got you.
If they're regular, like okay, maybe 500 all in with between the concept and whitelisting, and a lot of
Mm,
times they write the script themselves, which
oh,
so if
wow.
they're part of the target audience and they have a good portfolio, I'll let them do that. But if they're
Gotcha.
not, or if they don't have a good portfolio or whatever it is, I'll want a little more. I'll write the script for them. So that's like kind of what I look like. Big red flags, and we talked to people in the Foxwell group about this, where it's like, oh, this is going to be a problem. Is um, they don't include unlimited usage rights. They want like a separate thing. So like it's just very
What does
hard.
that mean?
So basically,
What does that
like
mean?
yeah. So I basically when I do the contract, I say we'll pay a little extra, or like you can bake it into your fee for unlimited usage rights. So basically, that
Mm,
means they might say, oh, only 30 days of usage rights, meaning like
For the video.
for the video or even any clips of them, like we'll take a raw footage and do a mashup 6 months later, and
Oh,
she
gotcha.
happens to be in it. We don't want her like suing us because,
Right.
oh, you used my name and likeness 6 months after our deal without my
Mm-hmm.
permission.
Gotcha.
And they're trying to do a DMCA takedown on a $10 million a month brand just for like because they're shown for 2 seconds in an ad. Um,
Gotcha.
I haven't seen that extreme stuff, but like that's like what their fear is. Like they'll use, but like I'm happy to pay a little more for unlimited usage rights, to be honest. Like,
Mm-hmm.
if, or bake it into your fee or something, as opposed to it's gonna be an extra $100 a month for every usage rights or something like that. Um, anyway, so that's a little thing there. Like whenever I make
Yeah,
content,
that's
I just say
important.
the client owns all of it. They don't own your face, of course. Like this is something
Mm-hmm.
that we don't let them do. We don't let a client screenshot your face, put it on their website, and make up some quote that you said, or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Another courtesy we do is if we're using their content, their raw footage, in a way that they like see and they disapprove of or something, we just like take it down. It's almost never a problem, but that's a fear a lot of content creators have with the usage rights too. Like they'll suddenly be in an ad that's like maybe it's very inappropriate or something, and they use their face or
Mm-hmm.
something. Like I didn't sign up for this. Like take this down. Like that's almost I've almost never seen that, but it probably does happen to some extent. So you just got to be careful there. Like so that's why I'm super reasonable with creators, like with that kind of stuff. Like I said, like it would be outrageous to just do what I just said, but they're just worried about that happening. That's most of the time they're trying to just protect themselves. If I find almost every time, if you just say, "Hey, we'll like write this in the contract as verbiage in the contract that we won't do this, or things will be subject to your approval or something," they're really good. So I think that's reasonable. I know it's a long-winded answer. What do I look for in a contract? But those are the kind of
No,
questions that are going to come
that's
up.
that's great. So on the whitelisting side, how does that usually work? Do they agree to a period of time to engaging exclusively posting your stuff? How does that typically? What are some of the main ones you wanna make sure you
Yeah.
baked in?
So it is a per month basis usually, or like it'll just be unlimited whitelisting usage for this fee, or
Okay,
they just send you an invoice for like 150 a month just to use their page or
gotcha,
something,
gotcha.
and they'll just grant you access to their page, like the way if I'm Nike running ads from Facebook Ads Manager, I have the
Hmm.
Nike page. I've just hit that drop down. It's now Sarah from Florida or
It's
whatever.
part of your asset, basically. You get
Yeah,
the
yeah, and the
cool,
specific
cool.
partnership one's a slightly different tech setup, but it's
Gotcha,
essentially the same thing. Um,
gotcha, gotcha.
but yeah, that's pretty much how it is. And then they can remove access whenever they want. It's like, so they'll be like, "Oh, you didn't pay in the you're 2 months late on payment. I'm going to remove access." That's
Gotcha, gotcha.
at least that's what they should do. But yeah,
Is that outrageously expensive? If someone's got like hundreds and thousands, I'm just like, am I should I be scared? Like someone's got like 100K, right? Like I'm famous and big, and I'm gonna charge you.
probably more.
Like,
It
is
would
that is
cost.
that like is it like a law? Like if someone say $1,000 for like just using it for a month, is that considered small? I'm
Um,
just have no idea.
that's a good. So you're saying if someone has 100,000 followers, they're a legit influencer, is
Yeah.
whitelisting just whitelisting alone from their page worth, let's say, $1,000 a month? I
Yeah.
would say yes, under the condition that they're a great content creator and they're part of the target audience, and
Okay.
like you're using their ads and their ads are really good for you. Because $1,000 a month at that point, it probably cost a few $1,000s to get a video from them for the ad. So as a percentage of your ad spend, it's probably much lower, and like in those cases, it's fine. Um,
Got it.
there are people with 100,000 followers because they bought the followers, which is a lot more common than people realize, or they're just
Mm.
like a beautiful person and like
Hmm.
they're just
Yeah, just like selling that sex energy side.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's just a hot chick, and I don't know if that means they're influential in a certain like
Decision buying for your product,
yeah,
basically.
it doesn't always mean influential. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. Or like, and the content is not that good. For example, like if they looked different, they would have their content not that good. But I
Yeah.
mean, I work with someone with 1 million YouTube subscribers, and he's the best content creator I ever worked with. Like, I would
Okay.
pay if we had the money, like if he charged us $10,000 a month to just for unlimited raw content and whitelisting or something, I think, for what we're paying an ad spend, I'd gladly pay that because it's so worth it. The results are phenomenal. He's phenomenal to work with. It's so easy. It's literally his team of professional people who will get, like, you send a video. I sent him an email on Friday. Last Friday, I think by Monday, end of day, everything was ready. Everything was done. His team has edited it. It's perfect. I'm like, oh, this is a phenomenal ad. But that's different. That's a person who's a million YouTube subscribers. They're like basically a brand at that point in themselves.
Sort of going back to what you're saying, it's like per case based, and you really want to find someone that you can work with well. And I know we are out of time here. I want to end the show with just one last question. I know you're a creative guy. You do all of this. How do you stay creative? What do you do on a daily basis just to make sure you are the creative guy walking around and being creative all the time?
Yeah. So I saw that in the notes. I'm like, how do I stay creative? I don't have some cute process like, read poetry and paint and do yoga, or like I don't have any cute processes like that. For Facebook ads, I look at the ad libraries a lot. I have a couple I follow that I use for inspo for a lot of the brands I work with, and
Okay.
I probably spend at least 1 hour a week just scrolling the ad libraries. I use foreplay.co.
Okay.
It's I just scrolling, saving things I like, and when you do that, I mean, sometimes I'll spend a whole day a week or one whole day a month, just like let's get as many good inspo ad concepts as possible. I have I may have thousands of different concepts saved in like a giant swipe file on these platforms, and when you just do that every week, compounded now for maybe 5 years now, I've been doing that. You just see so many trends, so many like differences and stuff, to where if I just go, hey, let's say my analysis determined I need like 10 different product focused static image styles. I know I can just go on Foreplay right now, take 10, I'm like, okay, we're going to use these 10 as inspo images and just form them for our brand. That's it. Like, it's not really creative. It's just a lot of pattern recognition and just a big giant swipe file, and you just pick up trends. Like, you learn there's like 20 different ways to do an us versus them side by side image.
Mm-hmm.
You learn there's
Gotcha.
infinite ways to do just a headline with the product style image.
Sure.
So that's like, yeah, swipe file maxing or just being obsessed in the
Yeah.
swipe
You're
files.
very heavy in system. I notice. Like it sounds
Yeah,
like you're creative. It's a lot creative system. You're really baking into a process where you just go through the motion, and you're exposed to all these beautiful things and just make you more
yeah,
beautifully creative.
yeah. Well, that is how a lot of good creative. I'm not like I would consider myself a creative person the way like an artist is, but yeah, it is the systems that like that's where the media buying background comes in. Like I just have these systems, everything systematized. Look, I'm lazy. I don't want to think a lot. I want to just go through the motions and having a good system that you can just default on a Monday
Yeah.
morning when you don't have any caffeine in you or you have a lot of pressure.
Oh,
Like,
maybe you do.
yelled at by
Like
clients.
basically, it's like
It's good.
creative with informed intention.
Yeah, I think systems is the best word. The one you said too. Like a good system will beat a lot of these other things. And I tried very hard over the years to just build solid systems. So if you're staying creative, like yeah, like that system, I just look at. And I think a lot of people will agree. Just if you look at swipe files, basically obsess over them,
Hmm?
you'll just see so many patterns and trends and good ideas and stuff. It'll be like impossible to not get better.
I love that. Hey, thank you so much, brother. This has been really fun. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I'm gonna probably end the show over here. Yeah.